8 News at 5 starts now.
Thanks for joining us right now at 5. We begin with breaking news from Stafford. A mother tied up while men hold her son at gunpoint.
A terrifying home invasion. Let's go straight to 8 News reporter Matthew McClellan, who's live in Stafford tonight. Matthew?
Hey, you guys, I just spoke to the victim. She's still so shaken up and so rattled by this armed home invasion. She said that she was asleep in her bedroom when she was woken by this loud boom sound. Those two armed men coming in through the back of the house. Those men then proceeded to find her son, her 10-year-old son, who was lying on the futon in the other room. They tied him up. They hog-tied him with Ziploc, with zip ties around his wrists and ankles. Then proceeded to do the same thing to this woman while they rummaged through the house, taking several important personal documents, also taking cash from her. She says they even tried to take the TV, but that was mounted to the wall. So very extensive, the amount of personal property they took or tried to take from the house. Listen to what she told us.
Tied us up, held guns to us, and told us if we didn't do anything that they told us to do, that they were going to kill us. He ransacked my room. He tore up everything, like knocked everything over, and they left.
Now, if you have any information on this crime, you're asked to call Crime Solvers. Coming up at 6, we're going to hear more from that woman and why police say this may have been a targeting situation. Reporting live in Stafford County, Matthew McClellan, 8 News.
Just in, Henrico County Schools apologizing to parents upset about a video Glen Island High School students watched for Black History Month. Here is that animated video here. It shows men and women, both black and white, running a race through American history. The white male has a much easier time running than everyone else. Black runners start the race late and face several stumbling blocks. School officials say they're reviewing the matter internally and say, quote, the Henrico School Board and administration consider this to be a matter of grave concern. School leaders have been instructed not to use the video in our schools. In addition, steps are being taken to prevent the use of racially divisive materials in the future. And happening now, teachers where you live are taking over Richmond City Hall.
They're demanding better funding for city schools and raises for themselves.
8 News reporter Jonathan Costin is live now at City Hall tonight. Jonathan?
In fact, the rally just broke up a few moments ago. I talked to some teachers. They say they're underfunded and they need a hand. In fact, I stepped inside a classroom early today to learn more.
I think teachers are just people who they love learning so much that they want to share that love of learning with other people.
Chris Lombardi's been in the trenches of teaching for over a dozen years, so he helped organize the City Hall rally to let city leaders know the system needs to be funded.
Historically, it's always been a battle to get the schools what the schools need in order to do their job.
Lombardi loves teaching his 5th graders at Richmond's Mary Mumford Elementary School, but he admits the environment he and his colleagues work in are not the best for teachers and especially the children.
You're asking teachers to teach and children to learn in moldy environments and environments where there's leaks coming down, you know, in the classroom when it rains heavily.
The veteran teacher says he wants people to know a solid school system helps lower crime and poverty.
The education just doesn't matter to the 11% or so of the population that is directly serviced by the schools. Education serves 100% of the population.
Rebecca Anderson is a grad student who hopes to be teaching next school year with the support of the community.
I want to work in a school that is safe. I want to work in a school that the districts show that they care about me as a teacher. They value me. I do. I want that. I need that to be able to teach, you know, properly, to teach effectively.
Well, I did reach out to City Hall. In fact, I even talked to Mayor Dwight Jones about the school's budget. He told me the schools are in desperate need of funds for the school system. He said possibly a way to fund the school system to put it before the voter in a referendum. From City Hall, Jonathan Costin, 8 News.
A recent study by the Virginia Education Association found people would pay more taxes to help provide for schools. 66% said they believe teachers aren't paid enough, and they believe there's not enough funding for public schools to meet their needs.
Just in tonight, Carly Fiorina is dropping out of the 2016 Republican presidential race. Hewlett-Packard's former CEO made the announcement on Twitter. She has struggled to build support in a very crowded primary field. And we have just confirmed that Chris Christie is also dropping out of the race for president. The New Jersey governor placed 6th in New Hampshire's primary. Should school officers be allowed to carry guns? A bill to arm them is making its way through the General Assembly tonight. And 8 News reporter Mark Tenya has more from in the Rotunda.
For years, bills aiming to allow school staff to arm themselves at public or private schools have failed. Now a proposal to allow security guards at schools to be armed is making its way through the General Assembly, passing the Education Committee today. Under the proposal, the security guards would have to be retired police officers and get permission from the local school board.
This is at least a small step in the right direction.
Philip Van Cleve with the Virginia Citizens Defense League says he still thinks permit holders should be able to carry on school grounds, but says he believes this bill is a stepping stone in that direction.
Everywhere they allow permit holders to carry has been a success, whether it be in schools or churches or anywhere else.
Van Cleve says it's already working in higher education in Virginia.
Liberty University is a good example of this. They never had any problems with it.
It's chipping away every year to all of our laws.
Andy Goddard with Virginians for Responsible Gun Laws is concerned if the bill passes, it could be another step toward allowing more guns on school properties.
If you can find an opening to crack open the door, then next year you can add more things and push the door open wider.
Goddard says even retired officers should have to go through annual training before they're allowed to carry a weapon on school grounds.
And that bill now heads to the full House for a vote. Mark Tenya, 8 News.
Also in the Rotunda tonight, the House approves several bills that would allow more concealed weapon permit holders to legally carry guns in Virginia. One expands the number of concealed handgun permit reciprocity agreements Virginia has with other states. And a bill allowing concealed guns for abuse victims has bipartisan support. Under that bill, people who are 21 and older could carry a firearm without any permit for 45 days. Some oppose the bill, saying putting guns in the hands of victims could lead to more violence.
The former Henrico County football coach accused of attacking 2 people at a motel entered an Alford plea in court today. Edric Moody is charged with malicious assault. An Alford plea means he doesn't admit guilt, but does admit there's enough evidence to convict him. Court documents show one of the alleged victims suffered a concussion, broken bones in his face, and lost 3 teeth. The other was not seriously hurt. Moody will be sentenced on April 22nd. New details in the murder of Blacksburg teen Nicole Lovell. You just heard from her father on Dr. Phil. David Lovell says he saw some of his daughter's interactions on social media, and it was obvious some of the older men had fake profiles.
They had taken her phone away from her because they felt like she was having some inappropriate conversations.
Police have confirmed Nicole's last message was with an account belonging to David Eisenhower, one of the suspects charged in murder. We'll have more developments coming up tonight on News at 6.
In Richmond, we now know the names of 2 men killed last night on the city's south side. It happened at an apartment complex on Thorndale Drive, that's near Jank Road. Akeem Williams pronounced dead at the scene. The other victim, Vika Cham, died at an area hospital. Police think the shootings may be drug-related. They say they're working several strong leads. If you have information that can help, call Crime Stoppers. A reminder now for Chesterfield residents with loved ones at Dale Memorial Park. The staff there is planning a full cleanup of the grounds next month. Any valuables at a site should be removed or they will be tossed out. You can bring those valuables back after March 15th. Another cleanup is planned there this coming fall. Turning now to an 8 News traffic alert. We're going to talk about the mess on the interstates today.
So many people talking about those icy roads. They made for a dangerous morning commute with dozens of accidents across the area. You see now traffic moving again, but state police responded to more than 60 crashes this morning. The majority of them on interstates 64, 295, and 195. And there were an additional 70 crashes in Henrico County alone.
That's a busy morning. 8 News anchor Candace Cole caught up with VDOT to find out why the roads were so bad.
Getting to work early this morning, a complete nightmare for commuters in the Richmond, Henrico, and Hanover areas. With over 100 accidents due to black ice, the worst of it on bridges and overpasses when temps dropped at the worst possible time, according to VDOT.
This morning we experienced some snow just before rush hour and just before the sun rose this morning, and temperatures dropped just before that time period,
leaving a trail of dangerous black ice patches along the interstate, totaling cars left and right. VDOT's Lindsay LeGrand says they couldn't pre-treat the roads because some of the precipitation started out as rain.
We weren't able to actually get ahead of the storm. Any water in the precipitation would actually wash away the materials that we would put down, so it would be ineffective for us to pre-treat ahead of this particular storm.
VDOT crews equipped with salt and sand were sent out around 4:30 this morning when calls of black ice started coming in. LeGrand says VDOT will continue to monitor the roadways.
We're expecting the sun to dry out most of the pavement today, and we're not expecting too much more precipitation. But if there is any melting that occurs during the day, there's always the possibility that it could refreeze, especially on those slick spots.
And if you do hit a patch of black ice, state police say do not hit the brakes. Get off the accelerator, don't panic, and slow down. And just as a reminder to drivers, bridges and overpasses are the most prone to freezing, and you can always get a check on road conditions before you head out by dialing 511. Amy?
Candace, you now have more time to weigh in on plans to develop land on the boulevard. The city of Richmond is extending an online survey through the 29th. You can also weigh in at community meetings. Find information on those and a link to the survey in this story at WRIC.com.
New developments now on the Zika virus. It is spreading in the U.S. Now at least 66 confirmed cases. And as that number rises, there's growing concern for the Summer Olympics in Brazil. Soccer star Hope Solo tells news outlets that because of the Zika virus, she would skip the Rio Olympics if she had to make a decision today. Zika is spread by mosquitoes and has been linked to a devastating birth defect that causes children to have abnormally small heads. Some predict Solo will not be the last athlete to reconsider a trip to Brazil.
Women are now 45%, closing in on 50% of the entire Olympic Games. And almost all of them are of childbearing age.
As that Zika virus continues to spread, a group of researchers in Virginia is working to develop a vaccine. Christina's in now with the latest on that.
It's researchers at Virginia Tech, and they have plenty of test subjects. They are housing thousands of mosquitoes, studying mosquito-borne viruses like West Nile and yellow fever. And now they are trying to use that information to find answers about Zika.
I wouldn't say so much as a cure, possibly a vaccine, which is more of a prophylactic strategy. It's a preventative strategy, so it would prevent a person from becoming infected in the first place.
The World Health Organization estimates as many as 3 to 4 million people across the Americas will be infected with the virus in the next year. Amy?
Christina, they're not known for being romantic, but the Better Business Bureau now is warning consumers about Valentine's Day scams. Popular schemes include catfishing. That's when a con artist uses a fake profile to wring data and money from lovelorn victims. Also beware of suspicious e-cards. Some of those could contain a link capable of stealing your personal information and contacts. Also look out for offers to sell flowers and candy by phone because they could also spell big trouble. And up next here at 5, a Tennessee family outraged after doctors mistakenly performed surgery on their healthy baby boy.
Plus, a 4,000 square foot mansion destroyed by fire. See how the kids got out safely and which toy is a suspect in the blaze. John?
A few clouds this afternoon lingering over downtown, but clear skies tonight are going to usher in some chilly temperatures. The details are next.
You're watching 8 News at 5 this evening. The news where you live.
From Matoaca to Meherrin, stay with us. John and I will be back after a quick break.